KOGO News time, 7:11. So we have our own water issues here in San Diego. A lot of sharks off the coast. We know about the dangers of drowning, of course, when it comes to pool safety. But there's more than meets the eye. Studies show public pools contain gallons of urine. And that's not all. Mark Warner is a cleaning industry specialist. And Mark, as if we needed another reason to stay out of the water, what else is in there?
There is actually more than just urine. Good to talk to you this morning, LaDonna.
To talk to you.
You know, our pools can be our best friend or they can be our worst enemy. It really depends on really the level of attention and care that we pay them. The public pools are the things that we worry about the most, and we've all seen instances of babies swimming in diapers and things like that, and that leads us to conjure up images in our mind, right?
Yeah, not images that I want to think about, actually. But I will. But I will.
The things that we worry about in pools, kind of the obvious things, are skin rashes, things that affect our eyes and ears, like pink eye or swimmer's ear. We've all probably had that experience in our lives. Even the decking around pools can be a threat for things like athlete's foot. But the more challenging things are the things that might potentially get inside our body, and that is probably more worrisome.
Yeah, that's the thing that I'm really concerned about is, you know, now we're seeing signs when we go into public pools that say if you've had diarrhea in the last 2 weeks not to go in the pool. Is that because of the things that we're talking about here?
The things that we're talking about technically are, yes, they're microscopic parasites, technically, things called crypto and giardia, which are really one of the things that causes things like diarrhea. And we've all probably had some kind of experience like that throughout our lives. But those are things that can be spread in pools, and it's generally through things like fecal matter. Now, it's not just kids and babies in diapers that are the threat. I mean, there are other things, of course, that can be threatening. There's wild animals, and there's birds, and there's rainwater, which can create a runoff into pools. But all of those things can contribute to a level of what we call biomatter,
okay,
better term, in the pool. And those are things that we worry about. So there are some signals to watch for, though.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know. I mean, do you take your own, little test kit and a microscope in your pool bag? How do you know?
Josh, you could just picture me doing that, right? You're running up to the pool.
I can picture me doing it.
Here's some quick signs to look at. One of the things you want to watch for is a really strong smell of chlorine. A properly maintained pool that's in good condition should not have an overwhelmingly strong chlorine smell. The strong chlorine smell is coming from the fact that they either found a problem and they hit it with a chlorine shock, or the chlorine that's in there is getting tied up dealing with existing biomatter, urine, fecal matter, whatever. And in the process of chlorine dealing with those things and trying to disinfect it, there's an outgassing that's created, and that's a strong smell of chlorine. So my advice is if you're walking up to a pool and you're getting a really strong smell of chlorine, run away, don't walk.
All right. What else? I mean, what else can you do?
Well, there's a couple things that I look for. I get asked all the time, how do I handle things like hot tubs in hotels or public pools? And there's little tips that you can look for. One is a insistence on people showering before entering the pool. That's just an indication of a level of professionalism instead of a level of neglect. We find that over 10% of the public pools in the U.S. are actually shut down due to issues related to neglect. And neglect means that people aren't necessarily professionally trained on how to care for it, so they aren't watching things like chlorine levels and pH levels. On the other side of the equation, though, people that are really well-schooled in that can certainly make pools, public pools and hot tubs, plenty safe. So it really boils down to training and knowledge.
All right. Mark Warner is a cleaning specialist in the area of infectious disease control, as a matter of fact. So I appreciate the information, Mark. Have a great weekend.